You only lost one fight in your life. What are you talking
course,
about?
a
Guy slipped going around the corner.
A lot of people are worried about their business when they talk about anything.
They are.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
No, my business is a huge fail anyway. I'm not worried about it.
I'm
So
not.
why hasn't your business sponsored the show yet?
We don't have the funds available.
Next year budget.
Yeah, we got that in next year's budget.
So you heard it here first. We will be having season 2 of Too Fast.
Oh,
to Pay Later.
absolutely. This is going to continue on whether people listen to us or not.
Is season 1 over?
As we
Yeah, season 1 wasn't worth a shit, so we're going for season 2.
we'll delete our whole year like Duffy did.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I stopped paying Buzzsprout.
That's what we should have done. We should just say season 9, episode 140, and people are like, "Fuck, these people have been around forever."
I've
Yeah.
learned on Buzzsprout that if you delete paying after 90 days, they just erase all your shit. But they're still on
Yeah.
Apple and all that.
It's like when you were young and you got your first checkbook, and you're like, "Okay, start with number 5542." That way they know it's not a new.
Yeah, you could
account.
write some hot checks and they
Yes.
know they trust it.
Another thing you don't, you know what checks are, right?
Yes, I know what
Okay.
checks are. But I didn't know, like, they wouldn't accept the first
Well, a
10
lot of
or-
places start 0001.
Yeah.
So back in the day, people were like, oh, new account.
New account, you just got...
So you just
But that's when
start
checks
with-
ruled everything. You didn't have a debit card.
Yes.
Actually, I got I learned something new from a friend of mine when we were younger, Brian Thurston. I don't think he'd mind me telling this story, but he found a way that you could survive till payday. And I said, how's that? And he said, well, all you got to do is write a check for $100, give it to Halls, get your $100, and you're good to go. You got that 100 till Friday. I said, but that check's going to hit tomorrow. How do you chase that? Well, I just write another check to C-Mart.
It's called kiting.
And I take that 100 and I deposit it and I follow it all the way till Friday to my payday. Come find out Pat's right. There's a title for it. It's called kiting, check kiting. So
And so really, towards payday, you're down $500. Payday hits, boom.
no, you're still down just 100
Because he
because you keep
deposit-
chasing it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So he's using his first check, and then he's writing a check to somebody else and putting that 100 in the bank.
Yeah, he deposits it every day.
Okay.
You got to chase that money every day. You got to go get another check for another 100 and deposit it to pay back C-Mart and then to pay back 7-Eleven and then to pay back Halls.
But then, so he's just getting $100 for no reason.
Absolutely.
Just to get it 5 days early.
Just to say he has $100 in case something goes wrong.
It's called survival on the east side was what we called it.
Oh,
So,
I never had that problem.
no, you don't need that problem.
So that's a great back in my day segment, though. Debit cards over checks over cash. Which, I mean, where are you at? Do you like that we have debit cards now? Do you wish
checks,
we still had
checks
checks?
were so much better because, let's say you took it to a Halls that their bank was UMB and you banked at Landmark. It might take 3 days to get there, so you know after a while how many days you have to cover that check.
Right.
So,
Unless they go to your bank.
unless
to
they go to
catch
your
it.
bank, yeah.
So you basically only shopped at places that you knew didn't bank
Yeah.
with you, kind of thing.
Yeah, checks were confusing though. You had to be a good bookkeeper because, like right now, if you put a credit card in, they're doing the work for you. You know, and that's great. You get your statement back, you see exactly what you transacted in the last month or what have you. But a check, I mean, you miss a couple checks and you don't know where they went. If you didn't stop and write it down in your little memo column, you were in trouble.
Another thing you could do is you go buy some at Walmart, write a check, go return it. Before they put it back on a card, they give you cash.
Really interesting, Josh.
So back at Walmart, I mean, this is back, 90s even, is that tobacco used to be just right there.
Yeah.
You could walk in and grab it right off the...
Vending machines.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no,
no,
not-
they had the vending machine, the cigarette vending machine.
Hopefully the statute of limitations is up on this, but my uncle used to send my 8-year-old ass in, go grab a roll of tobacco and just walk out because they're not going to stop an 8-year-old kid. They're gonna press full charges on a 15-year-old or whatever. Now, if you go to Walmart, you got to request it, ID, all that stuff. So just back to the
Wow.
simpler times of
Yeah,
getting a
that's,
roll of chew.
your uncle was a smart guy.
He wasn't, street smart, I guess.
Well, but Josh is right. Back when we were kids, again, different time, they had machines. You just went up and put your 75 cents in, pulled the knob, and the pack of smokes came out, and you took them back down to your grandma, you know?
The Walmart, the best thing was you'd buy a video game, you're like, need the new video game, and then a week later you're broke. So we realized you could take it back to Walmart, and they're like, is it broke? We're like, no, we just... So their rule was you couldn't exchange it unless it was broken, and you could only exchange it for the same game, which was stupid. So we just go back in there and was like, yep, it's broken, I'm going to exchange it for the same game. Then you have a new game unopened, and you're like, I need to exchange this for money, it's unopened. And that's how, it was so stupid, those things you had to do to bypass the system.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
people still do that to this day. Video game controllers, anything like that, you just go in, and hell, I think Walmart's laxed a little bit. You can just give them a box and basically say the controller wasn't in there, and they're going to give
Well,
you your
Kevin
money
has
back.
something to tell people about certain stores, the limit on stealing stuff, that they don't stop you.
Yeah, yeah. We just experienced that. Went to a store here probably, I don't know, a month or so ago, and as we're looking at some furniture, they said, "Hold on," and they got on their earpiece and they said, "Yeah, it's a lady with the blue scarf, whatever, and just make sure she doesn't go over the limit." And then the attendant tells me that they have been told by their management that if people steal under $100, let them go. So they have regular customers that come in at least 2 to 3 times a week, and they know they can steal up to $80 worth of stuff without getting popped. So they're coming in and getting their $80 worth of stuff every day, and they will not do nothing to them. And I said, that is disturbing. That is a point in society that
And I
something.
wish we had video because Kevin says that is disturbing. He goes and grabs a few things, sticks them in his pocket, and then just walks out the door.
So you're
That-
telling me
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
that when I was in college,
$60.
I didn't ever have to really hide anything. I could just walk.
No, back then you was going to go down. I mean,
They
you stole anything back in our day,
They
you're
would
going
have
down.
tackled you and dropped you right there.
For
in the
real.
parking lot.
For real, they had. I mean, it was not going to be treated lightly, but now it's accepted. You know what? They're going to steal it anyway. We ain't got time to go to court with them. Let's just let them have some. So they raised the price on your stuff and my stuff in order to compensate
And gave
for the
people
stuff that's going out the
inflation.
door, and then pay for their college. So
And pay
they're
for
getting an
their college.
education, all right. But yeah, I wanted to hit on one thing: video games. You know, you've never known a life without video games. But when I was a kid, we all lived through this. Josh, you were a little younger than us, but the first video game that came out was Pong, and it had those paddles with the
Yeah,
ball.
before me.
And we got that, and I mean, we was living high on that thing, and that was the coolest thing you ever seen. And then they came out with Atari right after. Well,
Centipede.
yeah, let's back up. After Pong, the old Walmart, which is out there now, there was the Breezeway or whatever, and they had Space Invaders was the first video game that hit that, and there would have been a line out that Breezeway all the way out in the street and down the side of the building, people waiting with quarters. I mean, there'd be $50 worth of quarters sitting on that machine where people stack your quarters, and you were next.
Oh yeah, that's how you knew. You put your quarters up there. That was next. And
Absolutely, and so, you know, that thing would be busy. I'd hate to think how much money that machine made, but it was a ton. Then they came out with the console, and you could get an Atari. But I was fortunate. My old man worked pretty hard, and he got us what was called an Intellivision. You probably never even heard of Intellivision.
no,
They were top of the line back then. But like you said, the games were $100 a piece. The Intellivision was $300. A video camera and a VCR cost $3,500.
yeah, that makes
When they
you
came
think.
out.
You know, talking about Walmart. When I was younger, working there, talking about things changing, is they used to have the photo shop. You go there and get your film
That
developed.
square thing.
And well, you just take it to the service rep, and they would take it, you know, and you go get your pictures picked up. But what they are supposed to do is they're supposed to go through the photos, and any nude photos they would take out.
Oh yeah.
So
Did you slip some by?
you know, when I worked, you know, family worked there, I just remembered where the spot was, and so they'd always have all these photos they're supposed to get rid of.
You'd go get their dumped photos.
I wouldn't go get them. You just go look through them, you know, and you're like 8, 9 years old, you know this stuff. And
Pervert alert. This is
Like
starting
you
to add
wouldn't
up.
go look right now.
No.
Lies.
I
No.
was an 8, 9 year old kid